Welcome back to In the Oven with Adam and Brad.
What's up, y'all?
This is first time recording in 2 weeks because we doubled up because I was gone last week.
Vacation.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Looked fun.
We stayed at the cabins at Wilderness Lodge. It was called Copper Creek. I didn't know this, but they were like newly renovated.
Right.
Very nice. 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom cabins, had their own little jacuzzi and they're on the water.
What is the closest city? Or where would you say that is? Orlando? I mean,
technically, I think
my brain always just goes Orlando.
Celebration.
Oh, okay.
Because Disney. So obviously, Disney is its own city itself, but Celebration, Florida. Disney bought this area called Celebration, and they were going to turn it into this cool place to live. And I think they just couldn't get off the ground with it. But there are a lot of very themed homes in Celebration towards that. There's a whole gated community that you can buy into that was it's right behind Disney.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot, and the homes are 7 and 8 bedroom, 10 bathroom, 7,000 square foot homes.
Themed.
A lot of them are themed, like Beauty and the Beast or something.
Yeah, that's
and
wild. That's wild.
And they sell for $6 million.
I mean, we rent the places when we go down to Orlando or whatever, but full time.
There's people that live in it. Yeah, live in it full time. Yeah,
full time Christmas towns.
I'm gonna get hate for this.
Okay,
but Disney adults are weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that have made their entire personalities Disney.
Yeah. Disney as an adult sucks. I mean, it's hot. Well, sorry. If you're doing it right. If you're doing it right, you're doing it for your kids, right? You're not doing it for you. Yeah. If I were to run around and just entertain myself, I guess it's fine. But if I'm doing it for my kids, I'm waiting in line and they're having fun and I'm doing all this stuff. And so, I can't imagine.
Yeah. The thing you get in return is the experience with them. You know?
Well, you get to see your kids enjoy and stuff.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Obviously this is August and we were going and I told Aubrey, I was like, you can go to a theme park with Letty if you want, but I'm not going. And I know that may sound rash to some of you guys, but I can't do it. I just don't like it. I'm irritable. I'm sweating. People are cutting you off and being rude because they're acting like they're the only ones on vacation. So I just didn't do it. But I said, hey, we haven't done the water parks. We don't have our season passes because we let them lapse back in February because we only really like to go November through February.
Right.
And so I was like, let's do the water parks. So we did Volcano Bay the first day, which is Universal's water park.
Yep.
A lot of fun. They actually give you a watch. Have you been there? Mm-mm. They give you a watch when you get there and you go to a ride and you scan your watch on it and it gives you a comeback time on your watch. And it'll tell you when you have 5 minutes left and even buzz at you when it's time for your ride. The issue is you can't ride any other rides while you're waiting. But you couldn't if you're waiting in line anyways, right? You're just not having to wait in line.
You can still enjoy yourself.
You can go to Lazy River. Right. You can go to the wave pool. You can get snacks. You can get food. And if a ride did not have a wait, because there were some of them that didn't, you could ride those rides. That's cool. It was a lot of fun. They had a lazy river that Letty loved. The only issue I have is Letty is 40 and a half inches tall.
Right.
And
right on the cutoff.
Everything is 42 inches there. So they had a crazy river. So everyone, adults included, had to wear life jackets. And it was deep. My feet weren't really touching. It was sending you down a rapids, you know? Yeah. And Letty wanted to do it so bad. Couldn't do it. She wasn't tall enough. Dang. So I think that honestly, Volcano Bay, you could go with especially if your kids are over 42 inches, you're gonna have a blast. But you and Liam, y'all would have so much fun. But the next day was Typhoon Lagoon. If your kids are shorter than 42 inches, highly recommended that because you could do every ride but 2.
Okay.
Every ride but 2 was 40.
Okay. Yeah, when Liam and I went, and I don't even remember what the 2 rides were. There were only 2 rides at Legoland that he couldn't do.
He couldn't do?
Yeah. And
they were what, 48 inches or something for that?
I don't remember.
Is he 48? He's 4 foot tall.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So they had to be tall.
He's good now. No, sorry, that was the first time we went to Legoland. We had to go back just to do those 2.
Okay, got you. Because I was going to say you recently went, last year. Right? Yeah. Yeah, so, it was a lot of fun. My dad and I had a blast at Volcano Bay. I want to preface that. We still had a good time. Letty just was kind of stuck to the wave pool and the lazy river. And then the next day at Blizzard Beach, Letty had a blast at a huge kids area. They had a tube ride for kids, and the kids were just going down this tube ride. So that was a lot of fun. And then on Sunday, we checked out of there and checked into Evermore. And I guess I need to ask you, how was the weather on Monday? Because that hurricane came through.
Honestly, man, you dodged a bunch of it. I know you got some wet weather, but it was fine here. I mean, it was just like a little cooler, a little, like kind of, we're about to get hit by hurricane weather, but then we don't.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't bad.
So we were on the wet side. So we were just getting dumped rain on that Monday, but it turned out fine. We went to the mall. It's tax-free week for Florida for back to school. So we bought Letty some clothes. We bought, my parents bought the new baby some outfits. We did a bunch of other stuff there, bought some new running shoes. So we just kind of spent the day like piddling around the mall. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, great weather, just perfect weather. So
and if y'all don't know, we don't have anything like a mall around here. We had a big hurricane take it out, and so like there's outdoor shopping here, but it's so hot and it's not the same. You can't hang out.
It's so nice because like we literally went to this mall and it's all indoors, and it was raining all day, and we just
I know it tells my generation, and I'm not like old enough to have quite been the mall rat, but like I don't know, growing up, you just hung out at the mall. You spent excess time there, and for them to just be going away, it's kind of wild.
Well, I'll tell you right now, if we had a mall, like having kids, I would totally take my kids to the mall all the time. It's air conditioned.
You walk around.
Run around, walk around. You don't have to buy anything. You just walk into the stores and stuff like that. There's a whole food court if they get hungry. So malls are great, but it's sad that that's kind of like a dying thing. I feel like you have to be a mega mall to like make it.
Yeah, something.
And in a big touristy city, like the Mall of America, like that thing is massive, right?
Yeah,
it's probably not
return. It probably was crushing it at one point.
Well, I think you had to have built it forever ago. There's a lot of industries now. I'm telling you, if they had to build in the current economy, they wouldn't exist. They are fortunate that they got where they are when they got there.
Yeah, I mean, land cost of construction, cost to hold, property taxes, everything.
Interest rates,
just debt. Costs across the board. It's a squeeze, man. I don't know how a lot of younger entrepreneurs are going to be able to do it in some of the largest conventional spaces that previous go out there, get a piece of dirt, build a business, build a building for your business.
Right.
Tough, dude.
Yeah. So, but again, Evermore was a lot of fun. I had a blast there, and now we're getting into the swing of things.
Full speed ahead, man. Yeah, full speed ahead.
Vacations are always, interesting at being a business owner because, especially on the social media side, I would say like in general, there was some stuff, which I guess we'll talk about the QVC stuff because I think we had talked about it on here. I had to take some stuff for QVC and there was like some random meetings and phone calls and stuff, but in general, like not a lot. But then the social media side of it, the most fun is to share your vacations. So then you feel like you're working on that facet because you're recording everything or like figuring out what to do and post and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting, to be an influencer.
25/8, man. Yeah, 25 hours a day.
Yeah. So, I guess that brings me to anything crazy happen here? Anything fun?
No, I mean, a lot of little minor stuff. Yeah, we did set a record throughput of cookies through the facility packages. We've talked about it before, but we're building up a draw buffer. We're effectively filling distribution centers. We're filling 10 distribution centers across North America, and they want to be able to pull full flavor profiles at a time per distribution center, meaning they want a full palette of each flavor. They're taking several flavors, and so we're basically having to build up this buffer in a freezer because we don't have the room here. We were able to handle the birthday sale, which is our largest volume e-commerce time in a year. Still not get behind in wholesale and push almost 20 pallets over to our draw site. So phenomenal.
Yeah.
Good job, team.
Yeah. When you told me how many cookies we had put out that week, I was like, holy crap, that's crazy. So, and then we still are working on getting our second oven up. I know you probably heard us mention it before. We ordered a second rack oven to just help with volume. We got it installed. Then we've just had issues with some of the mechanical features on it. It's not lowering the racks all the way so we can pull them out. So hopefully that'll be fixed by the end of this week. And then, I think we've talked about the fact that we got a second flow wrapper and then we had to like hook up the printing, thing on it, like the print head that prints our labels and stuff on there, and that should be up and running hopefully by the end of this week or so.
Yes.
Too. So a lot going on.
A lot.
But I alluded to it. QVC said we're out.
Yeah.
So Christian actually is gonna. I think he may have emailed me the contact information for the QVC buyer, so I'm gonna call them. But long story short, the buyer loved us. We did all the training, did everything, and got to, I guess, the finish line. And I'll clarify this, but someone at QVC that makes decisions decided that our name was not inclusive. Right? I mean,
yeah.
Okay. Which I'm not really sure how we're discriminatory against cookies because our name is Fat and Weird Cookie.
Yeah, it was told to me through our broker because, of course, the way some of this stuff works when you're a young company, you'd use people that have connections. In this case, we used a broker. They connected us with a QVC buyer. We jumped through all the hoops. Literally went through it all. The buyer didn't think it was an issue. Nobody thought it was an issue. And it got to final senior level. All right, this is what we're airing on this day. Because, of course, they run it on TV. And they just said, oh, no, we can't do that. It's not inclusive enough. Being fat isn't weird. And it's like, our name's Fat and Weird Cookie, man. Like, yeah. We're the inclusive. You like cookies, then we're the brand for you.
Yeah.
If you don't like cookies, we're not inclusive of you.
Yeah. It's funny because they from what I could gather, again, I haven't talked to them, it sounded a lot like they were stuck on the fat implied weirdness. And I'm like, well, if it implied it, I wouldn't need to put it in my name.
Yeah.
It's fat cookies with weird names.
We have fat cookies.
Weird cookies so.
They're a little weird.
So anyways, yeah. So it's interesting. Obviously, I'm going to call and talk to this person. I don't think it's going to change the course of anything that we're doing. But yeah, that's kind of, we have our flights to Philadelphia and everything. So Aubrey and I are just going to go and find something fun to do in Philadelphia. So,
yeah. Cool.
Yeah. But we were flying to Detroit to hang out with our friends up there. And when this came up, I just changed our flights to go from Detroit to Philadelphia and then back home. So I was like, I don't really want to deal with canceling this whole leg and redoing it. So I was like, we're just going to go. We're just going to go for the day. So
hell yeah.
He's going to hang out and
go see where Fresh Prince is from.
Yeah. So, well, if anyone has any fun things that we should do in Philadelphia, let me know because this will go live before we do that. So, I thought you were saying we were at 35 minutes. And I was like, holy crap. This is what I was going to tell you. The new CEO of Starbucks is Chipotle's CEO. So Chipotle's CEO has left.
Give him one of those.
Yes. So literally it was on Jerry News or whatever is the thing. And I commented under the post. So does that mean I get extra coffee if I just give one of those head nods?
Give me a little, give me a little more coffee.
Yeah. I want extra whip, you know, like light ice, put some more coffee in there.
What Chipotle do? They can him or what?
So Starbucks was down 20% apparently, on the stock market through this year, just based on sales and things like that.
Right.
So they've surged up 24% just in this announcement apparently.
Okay.
But Chipotle's stocks have now dropped 18% on the news of the CEO leaving, which I find surprising because everyone that I know that talks about Chipotle right now says it's unaffordable, it's inconsistent, and it's not good things. And so I don't understand unless I'm missing out on the whole of Chipotle. But to me, it sounds like this ain't really an upgrade, Starbucks. But
yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't understand why the stock dipped or surged either way. I don't know the guy's name, but I just know that cringy commercial, which, I like cringe, but what's his name up there? Howard Schultz? No, that's the former CEO.
Yeah.
Nourishman?
No, it's Howard Schultz picked this Nourishman to take over, and then he got removed recently.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because their shares have fallen 21%. So they brought on this Nicole, who is Chipotle CEO.
Well, when you talk about all of the ways to save money, when you talk about all the fast food, all the luxury items, all the everything, the easiest one it feels like to get rid of would be Starbucks. It feels like you can make all that at your house and it's faster, even if you're just buying it ahead of time.
Right.
And
there's way more direct competition with Starbucks too. There's so many coffee shops out there that make great coffee.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you on that one. Do you kind of feel like CEOs of big companies are like football coaches? And let me explain this one, because I know you don't watch football a lot, but like one coach has like a hella good run, takes a team to the Super Bowl a couple of years. Maybe they win, maybe they don't win, but he took them to the Super Bowl 2 years. Then all of a sudden, he's always, he gets fired from that job because eventually he doesn't cut it. He gets hired to the new team, never does well, and he just goes to all these other NFL teams as a coach because he was successful one time.
A lot of these publicly traded CEOs feel more like media puppets. Like, go on TV and talk, and then if something bad happens, we'll just fire you.
Right.
And you'll get,
so they're the
you'll get $100 million.
Yeah, they're a scapegoat of the company.
Yeah. I mean, the Boeing CEO just got like some ridiculous raise.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like,
after everything that's going on?
I think it's in the middle of it. Look that up, man. Look that up, Eastman. See if I'm right on that. He got some kind of compensation package that is quite interesting. But, you got to think about it. If he's like, yo, you want me to stay on as CEO during all this mess? You're going to have to pay me.
Oh, wow. So stakeholders of embattled airplane maker Boeing approved a pay package of $33 million for outgoing CEO Dave Calhoun at the company's annual general meeting on Friday. That's the highest package ever paid to a company CEO, and a 45% increase from the $22.6 million he received for 2022.
There you go.
Holy crap, man. I think that, sometimes you think about like NBA players and the money they make and stuff like that. These CEOs.
They don't want you to know how much money they make. The people on Forbes go self-report to Forbes. Otherwise, you don't know how much money. None of this is like disclosed. Right. So like,
publicly traded companies has to be, right?
There's certain compensation packages, but when they're compensated in stocks
is
and
not
all
disclosed,
that, and when they're compensated in stocks, it can be pulled loans against and everything else.
Yeah. Well, and I know that like a lot of them have like they stock options where they can buy the stock at like whatever the past value was and stuff like that. So it's like they automatically know that if the stock is $300 now and they can buy it at $200, they could literally buy a ton and just sell it again and make all that money.
Well, right, and that's through conventional means that we all usually understand. But there's nothing preventing me from giving you money for a loan against your stock options, and if you default, I get your paperwork.
Right.
And then there's no record of anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Creative. What is body cam? You're going to have to tell me about that one.
Body cams.
Body cam video from Trump. Oh, yeah. So body cam video from Trump rally shows moment when officers first see gunman on roof. First, I want to talk about this. This is how I feel about like all of these like major incidents that happen. The Las Vegas Mirage Hotel shooter. Immediately stuff comes out. They're talking about like deep secret. And then all of a sudden radio silence. Like no one talks about this anymore. Like I feel like this was updated on August 8th, this article you showed me. So 5 days ago. And it's like the body cam footage, but like we've already like moved past it as a society. Like everything is about like the sensationalism of the actual event. And and for me, that's terrible because I'm the kind of person that wants like,
answers.
Yeah, answers or like
closure.
Closure. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do we know? Like, I know that the FBI chick stepped down or Secret Service chick stepped down.
Yeah.
But like some of the agents that were there that people were like, bro, they did not handle it. I've seen them in details. They like show them in details.
Man, we still got that guy with the private island out there that deleted himself supposedly.
Yeah.
know?
So why do you think that happens where they don't like ever close the loop?
There's shady business going on, man. There's just shady business. There just is.
Yeah.
There is, because like, why is there not excitement? Why are you not just genuinely curious?
Yeah.
The news media was real quick to say he had on like a Demolition Ranch t-shirt or like he was Republican. Cool, keep digging.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please. Like I'm curious too. Hope you find all the anti, Trump stuff or whatever you want to find. But like, I want to know.
Right.
And like, why was there a Pac-Man shaped security perimeter?
Right.
Why was any of this like this? Why weren't there drones in the air? Why, what is this?
Well, why did people spot him and then not do anything about it? Including like, just get the president. Like, I realize that maybe you don't have an open shot or whatever, but like someone should have radioed in to get Trump protected. And this is, I feel this way about anyone. Kamala Harris, Walsh, Biden. If there's someone trying to shoot them, I would hope that whoever's in charge of their safety would if they can't shoot back and eliminate the threat, would just put themselves in a situation that the threat couldn't reach the target.
I am a gun owner. I believe in the Second Amendment and all that. I also believe that even if there's not a presidential rally, if there's a crowd of people somewhere and I am on a roof with a rifle, a sniper might shoot me in the head because nefarious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's a high value target, a high likely target. You know, you can quantify that a bunch of different ways. The Vegas shooting that you mentioned, I mean, like, I don't think the dude was trying to get the country star, so I don't think it's like a high, still maybe high value, I guess. They should protect this person. There might be, but it's not like a high likely.
Yeah.
Political figures are always got to be high likely.
There was just a whole weirdness behind that whole incident with the Mirage Hotel or whatever, where the guy had like some ties to like.
He also supposedly brought in like dozens of weapons.
Right. Huge weapons.
Instead of lots of bullets.
Yeah.
And a backup.
Right.
Like, and then all the extra flashing from the other areas that were recorded. We're just in a different era. Even from then, there's more cameras on everything now.
Yeah.
You know, storage is nothing. It's cheap. Phones store everything. Clouds will hold it for you.
You go to a hotel and tell me you can get from your hotel up to your room without being on so many cameras. Like, why was that never maybe I know there was some footage of him released, like going up to the room, but like, I want to see it all.
Yeah.
And maybe that just makes me nosy and untrusting, but that's kind of where I'm at with that situation.
I think everybody should be nosy and untrusting of their government, right? We got to keep them accountable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. World's first AI hospital in China. Interesting. All doctors, nurses, and patients in the virtual environment are driven by large language models. According to the team, AI doctors can treat 10,000 patients in just a few days. Wow. 93% accuracy rate on the MedQA data set. That's crazy. I mean, we've already agreed that, like, at the end of the day, people were like, oh, AI is going to replace these, like, monotonous tasks. But the truth is, AI is going to be able to do everything that we do even better, that including law, because at the end of the day, they can search all law history that's ever been formed, and they can make opinions that have no emotion involved at all.
Right. Well, and I think it's an economy related deal. Yes, AI has the ability to replace repetitive skill sets, but it also has the ability to replace higher value skill sets. And I believe that it can replace, I'm sorry, you know, doctors of the world, but man, it's a series of, is it not this, is it blood tests, all these things. They're going to be able to replace doctors. I believe techs are going to answer to AI. Before there's a robot full on reaching out, fully pulling the blood out of your body, I think a person's going to keep doing that, and they're going to slap it in a machine.
Right.
And then it's going to tell them what to do next.
Right.
And so I think from the top down, it's almost makes it scarier.
Well, yeah. Well, you got to remember, a lot of, in my opinion, this is all driven by like cost, right?
Yeah.
Cost of the AI robotics development itself, and then the cost of the person that it's replacing.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, you look at it and you're like, oh, it can replace this $20 an hour Amazon employee. And you're like, it could, but it cost $5 million. And for $5 million, it can replace this $1 million neurosurgeon. So guess who they're going to replace first?
Even on the Amazon side, it can probably replace a whole logistics team. It can probably replace whole managerial decision-making teams.
Right.
I mean, it's just going to cut throat the C-level because, like, y'all are just giving me your opinions and sort of like this gut wisdom. Look, it's going to be able to learn all that over not very long. I don't know what's realistic anymore. Fast as hell. And
I guess it really just depends on how much data can be fed, right? If you get someone like Facebook and Meta and those people involved, and they essentially allow you to like, but they allow you to essentially see inside their boardroom, and like AI can be trained on their decision-making practices. I feel like obviously that would speed things up, but.
Well, we already got them sitting in here, man. You got little listening devices everywhere.
Right.
And so, it's whether or not it can work with the large language model, whether or not the large language model stays the model. And then anything like a Neuralink, anything that can use brainwaves or not rely on believing what you say to be the truth. You know what I mean? Like not having to ask you questions and you answer it because it's like we can all fib a little or bend the truth. And if it can just be like, oh, nope, here's how they react to it.
Right. I think the crazy thing to think about with AI is like, we have that Sleep Me system. There's like Oolers on our bed. Now there's an AI integration you can get. It's this pad that you plug in and it goes on there and it can judge just by like how you're moving around and things like that, and it will adjust the temperature of your bed to either help you fall back asleep if you've woken up or to like keep you asleep and things like that.
Yeah.
And so you start talking about that. I just think that, I don't know, we're just like in a completely different world.
Yeah, there's a company I saw a thing on called Friend that's got a little wearable.
Yeah.
And
he paid $1.5 million for the
spent
domain.
all that money on the domain, but it listens 100% of the time and it'll text you and it'll learn.
Yeah.
Who knows, whatever it's capable of, right?
To be honest with you, when I watched it, it kind of reminded me of like an invisible friend a lonely child would have, because like they like talk to it like they talk to like, some invisible friend and it like responds back and things like that. So it's interesting. Yeah, I get that with AI, I feel like there's so many possible ways for AI to go, being helpful and being harmful. That's just like, I don't know, we live in an interesting time for sure.
Yep. Get you some acreage and some food plots.
Well, that's trending now on social media. There's like homestead people that are gaining huge followings for, buying these large plots of land and like building communities of homes.
People are
families,
saying screw it. Because, I mean, in just the past couple of years, I mean, during our entrepreneurial game, if you will, like they printed 20% of the money that's in circulation or whatever it is. And it's like everything, it's just gotten
so expensive.
The cliff is gotten steeper and now it's slippery. And it's like, gosh, we've talked about the generational differences and the like what money would buy. And
yeah, I always think about that. But then I think about the fact that there's girls on OnlyFans making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month by showing their boobs because a bunch of idiot men are willing to pay for that.
Yeah, but I think it's only because they're not. And I know plenty of folks probably go behind their wives, but like you should be showering a real life girl with, I guess it's a real person, but.
No, but I mean,
I spend all my money on my wife and my kids and everything, like you shouldn't have that surplus money for that garbage.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That every time I think about the fact that like people are talking about how it's so hard to get by and they're strapped for cash.
Oh, true.
Then I hear these stories about like, I literally was listening to a girl the other day, a podcast clip that I saw on Instagram. And she said that she was making $150,000 a month. And then she did a day in the life video on TikTok that blew up. And now she's making anywhere from $300,000 to $350,000 a month.
Yeah, but that's not that many people paying you $10 a month. And like, you know what I mean?
I know, but still, just seems. I know a little bit of cash
paid
from a
you
little
$10 a month.
Yeah, it'd be a lot.
Rolling,
yeah,
and so it's like there's so many layers to it, right? The guys that are doing this are probably getting like a meaningful connection or some, not really, but trying to replace a meaningful connection with something. And the specificity of it, I think, is what's making it worse too. I feel like folks used to watch porn and like it didn't matter, but now it's like, no, this specific person.
Model, yeah.
And then you're like, I don't know, we're not wired for that.
Yeah.
And people
are like falling in love with people that they'll never meet and stuff like that. So it is. I think that that's the world that I find the most bizarre, just because like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine. Anyone could be talking to you, and I realize that these people may be on video, but AI's gotten to the point now where like videos can be anyone. So like there are AI Instagram models now that are making a ton of money promoting things, and it's AI. And I guess what's kind of just like weird to me is like we've gotten to that point as a society that people are willing to accept relationships, even fake, to be relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like really dive into that. To think about the fact that people pay lots of money and follow fake things because somehow that's exciting to them and it's not even real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was deep. But
oh, this is a fun one.
Texas schools ban black clothing because of mental health. I'm gonna have to see that one.
Oh, I wasn't reading that one.
Is it because of the goth kids? Yeah, it literally is. It's because of goth kids. It says that they banned it wearing all black, claiming the color is associated with depression and mental health issues. Black is a very slimming color, though. So
it is. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever worn all black in my life unless it was a funeral. But
this is part of the reason my kids are homeschooled. We're spending government dollars making these decisions. Like, parents need to just snap their kids out of it.
So today, when I dropped Letty off at her, whatever you want, childcare, preschool, whatever. They were like, "Hey, Letty, get the folder out of your backpack and put it in the folder bin." And I was just like listening. So like she did that, and they're like, "Okay, don't forget to get your water bottle and go put it in the water bin." And I was like, "What is this?" She's like, "Oh, we're just getting them ready for kindergarten." And I was like, "Oh, so you're turning them into like militant robots already?" Yep. Okay, gotcha. Yep. I was just like, "This is really weird," And I think it was literally at that moment, it just like further solidified my desire to homeschool. And I realized that is a luxury that you have, and I think we all acknowledge that. But
it's just, you gotta, you're a teacher, you gotta deal with 30, 40 plus kids, whatever it is these days.
Right.
They all need to toe the line, act a certain way, behave, not have, only ask the right questions. And all
because you couldn't handle it if they were all like
right. So like
crazy.
Yeah. So it's. Public schools are not the way.
Well, like if everyone downstairs just decided to just go like bananas and start like tearing stuff up and throwing stuff and like not following any kind of like order, then Adam and I would have a very difficult time.
Yeah.
Regaining that. So I understand the need for it in the school system, but it was built like we had talked about before during the Industrial Revolution to create factory workers.
At what cost? I understand the need for it, for them to accomplish their job, though their job of managing your children while you're at work. I mean, shit, man, like kids are going to learn. They just learn. You just prevent them from, like, the only way to keep them from learning is to prevent them from not learning. So just like answer their questions, do some things, work on their reading, like they want to know more. They want to. You get them around too many kids and then they want to just screw around. They want to just.
Yeah, but I think that's my main issue with school is that like you learn, but I feel like what I learned was like how to be obedient, how to follow the rules, how to show up to places on time. Because as far as like the actual material that you're presented the material usually in the same couple of ways. It's either in a book that you need to read and you go through it with the class and you kind of like work through things, or there's a PowerPoint presentation that everyone does. And then there's some examples of similar problems. And then you get told, go solve some problems based on your knowledge now of these similar problems. But in general, you're not like taught anything that's helpful in the real world. Oh. And it further makes you reliant on people,
the government,
to fix it for you, or other businesses, private business.
Well, it's a government product,
right?
And so it's going to set you up to work with other government products, be it corporations, even if they're non-government, private business, but those are heavily encouraged by the tax laws of the United States. That's really it.
I mean,
not a fan of the school system.
Yeah, I think that teachers are wonderful. I actually think teachers get the short end of the stick. You're required to do so much with so little. And, I mean, Aubrey and I have probably been contacted by a ton of different teachers, like, can you donate to my Amazon wish list? And I've sent some like Venmo money to a few of the teachers, like to help out, because they get a blank classroom and they want to be a good teacher. So they want to buy things to engage the students and to reward the students and things like that. So I think it's definitely a raw end of the deal that I feel like teachers get, but they're also like part of a system in general that I'm not a huge fan of, and there's not a lot of freedom for them to.
Yeah, teachers don't get a lot of say, so this isn't a dig at teachers at all. I think that most, if not all of them, go into it with intentions of teaching our children, and I think that's super noble. which is why I want to be involved with the teaching of my children also. But I think that what it's turned into with, I'll just say, all the other kids' parents, or the uninvolved kids' parents, or the parents that want to come blame the teacher for everything, or the No Child Left Behind stuff, and just all of that, I feel like schools have turned into a place where teachers are just managing the chaos. They make very little. They're forced to deal with quite a bit.
Yeah, I love it. A lot of times they'll say, like, on average, teachers make like $53,000 in Florida, which is like on the lower end of it all. But what you really look up is, like, when you start looking at these salary ranges, it's like $34K to $70K. Yeah. And what happens is majority of those teachers are really either on the low end because they're new, or they've been there for a really long time. Because I feel like, again, I had friends, parents that were teachers. I feel like the number when they were making 53 or 50 to 60K, they were like 20-year tenured teachers. You know?
I think those are heavily weighted by some very tenured teachers. New teachers aren't making that.
Right. Yeah.
Go back to that one with Hurricane Debbie.
Oh, that's great. Hurricane Debbie blows cocaine worth over $1 million onto beach in Florida Keys, U.S. Border Patrol says. You've seen those like videos of like kids catching cocaine off the coast of Florida, right? Yeah. Where it's like my kid's first fish was like a cocaine
square grouper.
Yeah. That's wild to me. So were they in boats that capsized or stuff, or like how does that happen?
Been, or stashed somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a squall or something at sea, they'll go stash.
A good Samaritan called it in. Cocaine has been found on new occasions on the shore of Florida. It's not far from the beaches. In June, recreational boaters off the coast of Florida Keys found 65 pounds of cocaine. Earlier this month, divers found 25 kilograms of cocaine about 100 feet underwater.
Ooh, underwater, this is a white lobster.
Wow, that's wild.
It just goes to show you how much of that stuff gets trucked into the country every year.
Well, yeah, because if this is a hurricane on one day brings in $1 million worth of cocaine, you know that they're bringing in billions of dollars worth of cocaine all the time.
Easily.
So that is pretty wild.
Because that's just one route.
Do you believe in legalizing drugs to like get rid of situations like this? You know, like it kind of gets rid of a black market if you have a legalized way, and then the government gets their favorite thing, which is taxation. You know, so
I used to. I don't know now, right? Because like, was it Portland?
Yeah, they're backing down on it now. They're coming. They're recriminalizing it.
Yeah, it got so bad.
Yeah,
but then you look at a place like Portugal, or you go to a place like the Netherlands, like Amsterdam or whatever. There's the way society looks at drugs is differently. I'm not from there, so I can't speak to it culturally. They just are like, they don't really. I don't know, man. We've got a lot of folks that use drugs to seek escape from whatever they're trying to escape from. That's tough. I don't know. I could see the benefit. I can see the benefit. I can see the taxation part, but like meth, heroin, cocaine, man, like I don't know. What do you need to?
Well, I mean, I didn't realize how prevalent cocaine was. And I think that obviously, we all grew up in the DARE time when it was like they were acting like you were going to get handed drugs every day.
Yeah.
I don't think I was like offered drugs except for like weed in college. It probably was the earliest I truly was offered any of that stuff. And so like definitely I've never been offered Molly or anything. I obviously don't hang around crowds of people that do that kind of stuff either. So that's probably less of a chance. But like I've never been offered cocaine, but I know I've friends and acquaintances that do cocaine regularly, and they're regular people. You'd have no idea that they were doing cocaine.
Yeah, man. I've got a lot of good acquaintances, some friends, some family that do plenty of it. And I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, it just makes you wonder, if you legalize something like cocaine. I think that they, in my opinion, in Portland, they legalized like heroin.
They legalized everything. Yeah, they legalized everything. And so I don't know what makes someone go full on, throw your life away, choose only the drug junkie
So
because again, all the folks that I know are like, they know when they got to work. They know what they got to do. They know when it's party time. And even though I don't agree with necessarily all the things they do, it's like sequestered, if you will.
Yeah. But also to add on to that, I guess technically they didn't legalize it. They just decriminalized it. So there was not anyone providing like safe heroin. I meant by safe heroin, I mean, there wasn't a dispensary where you could go buy heroin. So it's still street type drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm wondering what would happen if you like made it legal, like weed, where when weed's legal, you can go to a dispensary and you can go buy weed at a dispensary, and they monitor how much you can get and all that stuff. So if you did that with things like cocaine and shrooms and heroin, I guess, I don't know. I just feel like heroin I don't ever hear of anyone being like, yeah, I'm a casual heroin user. I mean, I've heard of like casual cocaine users, but not heroin, but
or meth,
but also it's just like, at what point do you go, I don't want to be involved in your decisions. They don't affect my life. If you want to use heroin and just...
Oh, now that's my personal, like, generalized beliefs, is I don't like that our prison systems are clogged up with addicts and users that haven't really done anything, though at some point they usually do. So then I don't know. They're so expensive. They're so life-changing. They're so cognitively changing.
It's also expensive though to pay unemployment on a heroin user, because Washington State has one of the highest unemployment rates that they pay people, and these people are on drugs and they're just collecting unemployment. And so I guess that's where I'm a big fan. This is why I'm a big fan of smaller government. I don't think that the government should be helping you out long term with unemployment, because I think it makes people reliant on a system. I think there maybe should be situations in place that are community driven, aka you're a contributing part of your community. You lost your job, the community respects you and they want to help you out, not the government's coming to bail you out with my money. I don't know. I just don't agree with that. I would much rather donate my money towards causes I care about, and everyone cares about different things. So the money we get around, you cut out all that fluff. And and I both know, man. There's so much fluff in the middle.
Yeah. Government sucking it all up, man.
Yeah.
This Columbia professor who uses heroin says the drug helps him maintain a work-life balance and should be legal for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, he's wrong.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Look, I get it that there's going to be some, what you want to call it, exceptions to the rules here. Yeah. I saw a video of a guy that I think worked for NASA that said he smoked crack all the time. Makes sense, but
do you think though, because it's illegal, there's no one to like walk you through the proper ways to utilize drugs at a recreational level that's not going to be harmful?
Yes,
for you?
I think we could completely redo the whole system and the way it's illegal and all of that. But I also think that we could pretty easily exterminate the poppy plant if we wanted to work on a weevil or a beetle that really just got wicked on that plant. I think we could go after the coca plant in general and just exterminate it. If we're being real, like if we really wanted to rid the planet of this toxic disease, I mean, if it makes a lot of money for the country, and whole lettered organizations are funded around it. And so,
yeah, but I look at it, there's plenty of stuff that is intention is not for consumption, that people consume in order to get effects, and we're not gonna like say, hey, it's legal to buy this thing, it's illegal to consume it this way. We're just like, yeah, if you do that, you could die. Darwinism, and
I think the drug trade masks the rest of the black market trade, whatever that is, people, organs, terrible things. I think the drug trade makes it like, Scarface and flashy, and then people just don't look at the rest of it.
Right, everything else that's going on. Yeah. Eastman said, should we trade cocaine for caffeine? Well, I will tell you, Latter-day Saints can't do caffeine, but I don't know if they're not allowed to do cocaine.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a television show coming out that's going to tell us all about it.
Have you seen it?
I just saw that it's a thing.
So I didn't know this, but when TikTok first came out, apparently there was like this big Utah moms talk thing.
Okay.
And it's all these like Mormon moms that used to hang out together, and they're obviously financially well-off moms. But then there was like some drama with like potentially one of the wives sleeping with one of the husbands. And
they were
like,
swingers.
all this. Well, that's what it came out, and then some of them were like adamant, we are not swingers. It's just this couple. So now they're getting their own show, and I forgot what it's on. Is it on like Hulu or Peacock or something?
Y'all got like any of y'all in the room got like a swinger couple y'all are friends with?
I do.
No, y'all do.
No, I don't.
No, they're trying to get you if you do, because that's just what they do.
I don't know.
I just feel like if you're hanging out with them, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
that's what they do. That's like here's my name tag.
Yeah,
I'll hook up with other people's spouses.
I mean,
let's hang out together.
Obviously, like swinging and thruples and stuff like that has definitely come like more into the public attention recently. I think I've seen way more stuff on like, well, again, social media, you just see more stuff, but on polyamorism and swinging and thruples. And
people losing their shame, man. You used to like need to keep that shit a little quiet. Now people are like, no, they make me famous with it. Like just.
Yeah. Yeah, you always wonder at what cost, at what cost, if anything. Like you can say what you want to, but it's like people aren't going to respect you the same way. And I realize that may be on them based on what you're doing, but at the same time, it's just like you're like, yeah, I don't know.
Man,
also, why is that life got to be out there for everyone anyways? Like that used to be called a private life.
I'm with you, man. And like, look, I can't say I still do things I don't want to or mean to say things I don't mean to say, whatever. In the heat of the moment, if you will. So like maybe in the heat of the moment, if there was just happened to be a camera on me, but like these people go set their cameras up, get ready. And then just air it all out. And it's like, I would just be sitting here thinking, like, my family is going to see this. I'm going to have, like, one day, like, Jesus going to look at me, and I'm going to have to be like, man, shit.
My thing is, it's always interesting to me when people take parts like that of their life and they make it their entire personality.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. People used to do that with me in working out, and I'm sure you got that a lot. Yeah. It's like, oh, Adam, he likes to work out.
And you're like, workout guy?
It's like, bro, I literally, when people tell me like, oh, Brad, he likes to work out, I'm like, working out is like 6 hours a week of my entire life. And we're talking about, how many hours are in a week? Like, a ton. And we're sitting here talking 168, and we're talking about 6 of those hours. Yep. And that is who I am now. I sleep more than I work out.
Yep.
So is Brad the sleeper now, you know?
Dude, yeah.
So I always thought it was interesting that people want to like label themselves or like build a whole personality around this like minutia of their life. And I realize like, doing hard things like working out is an accomplishment that you want to be proud of. But like, I'm a dad. I'm a husband.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
people on average, I'm sure, watch more Netflix than
we work out.
Yeah. So like, nah, what's up, Netflix guy?
Yeah, Netflix guy. Yeah, so I've always find it funny that when people like just really have to attach their whole life to some aspect in order to finally,
you see people in the gym and like, cool. Like I'm happy to see everybody come into the gym, and I like it, and I work out outside or wherever you want to. But I'll have folks come out and talk to me, and they'll be like, oh, like I'm trying to do this, or like I want to lift more like you or something, and I've been doing this for 20 years, man.
Or more.
Yeah. I mean, like, realistically, with some intention, not every day, but like weekly. I mean, like, if I didn't go, there was a reason. I wasn't like a lazy thing. I just made it a part of my life, stuck with it, had the Army, stuck with it after the Army, did the gym thing forever, so I'm like, put some time in, dog.
Yeah.
Just put some work in and keep going,
Yeah, I got serious about working out with my dad, like in the garage when I was like 15, which would be 22 years ago, which is wild to think
Crazy.
that. And then in college, I worked out, but it was like sporadically. Like I'd go to the gym for a whole week, and then I wouldn't go for like 2 whole weeks, So I sporadically worked out. And then when I got in the military, I worked out a lot more with a lot more intention. So I guess, you could say on the low end, 14, 15 years, high end, like 22 years of working out. Someone asked me that the other day when we were at Evermore. This younger kid was just like, bro, how I want to look like you. And I was just like, I've been doing it for just 22 years.
Yeah, just start.
And he actually had a really good physique. Like he really wasn't, in his mind, he probably felt like he was further off from what I was, but he was actually in really great shape already. But I was just like, time, man, just time. And that's why people respect people with good physiques. That's why people respect people that are good piano players or violin players or athletes, because they respect the amount of time taken for that person to be good at that thing. And you can't shortcut that. You can take steroids, sure, and you can get bigger and stronger, but you're still going to have to put in time and effort. Maybe that time and effort can get shrunk down, but you still got to do it. That's like saying, oh, this person's not a great at playing piano because they had a really good mentor. You'd be like, no, that was smart of them to hire a mentor to cut 2 years off of their training time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You can pay for help. You can pay for like assistance or technology or whatever to kind of help you get your goal, but you got to put in the work.
Right.
You can't buy the skill.
Yeah, I can't download it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Not yet. Yeah, not yet.
You want the premium version of the piano, and then now you can play any song, you know?
Oh, dude, I think it's going to get so bad that people are going to have like a subscription for sleep.
Did you see that? There was an Instagram video where the guy made fun of it. He goes, I wake up in my pod to my 12 other roommates. I download the morning news, and he like closes his eyes and goes like that. And then at the night he goes, and finally I fall asleep to my premium subscription of sleep, whatever. So I don't have to listen to the advertisements, or I don't have to have advertisement dreams or something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that. Cause we're going to want the edge. It's going to give you some edge. That's how they're going to get you. It's going to like repair cells. It's going to do something.
But would it even be impressive when you walked by a place anymore and saw someone playing the piano beautifully if you knew that they had some kind of implant that was allowing them to do that?
No, it'd be like the Matrix.
It just doesn't become impressive anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
Which again, further takes away when I say that people are going to like be kind of depressed because they're gonna, like.
Yeah, used to, if someone's like, I speak 4 languages, you'd be like, dang, that's dope. Yeah. Soon you can have a chip in your brain and you can be like, I speak every language.
Yeah, well, like, you know, I don't know the full definition of imposter syndrome or whatever, but like that's what you would be.
Feel like, yeah.
I imagine you would be like, I can do Kung Fu. And it's like, can you though?
Yeah.
Not really. Not if that thing turns off.
Right.
I don't know. It's kind of wild.
Well, you know another thing, which this is all speculation, right? Do you know the maximum amount you could lift off of your body? Like if bench press or something like that? You have a general idea, right? Yeah. But the AI chip will know exactly how much you can lift. So like potentially like it can push you to failure every time you lift.
If it has the ability to apply electricity, it could push you way past your own ability to generate electricity.
Right. Well, yeah, and it would know like at what percent your muscles would be potentially breaking down.
Yeah, that's why stimulants and everything help so much. It's the speed at which your neurons and everything can fire.
Yeah.
So like,
so like caffeine is like the number one.
Well, it would be just like here's a little
boost.
Here's a little electricity.
Yeah. I guess it is really wild when you talk about the application of AI as a whole. I don't think I've ever really sat down and thought about what it would do to the world in general when it becomes available to everyone.
Yeah, well, just the ability to kind of put it about a task, right? And so, like, again, nerves, if you are an amputee and you've been an amputee, if AI can go about the mapping of those nerves, then it's not some doctor sitting there trying to, like, do whatever medical version of sticking electrodes on each side of them and, like, seeing which ones have continuity or whatever. You know, that's basically what they do. And it would do it it would do it in your head. It would just figure it out. And so then it could connect to a piece of hardware that could be self-modifying or, you know. Yeah. I mean, it's just like, now your hand works.
Man, we're a rabbit.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, that's the way I think it's going to go. I think it's going to be techs being driven by AI that says, do this thing. Okay, hold this for me. Yeah. You know, twist this over here.
Well, you talk about the precision of machines, and the precision of machines will always outpace the precision of humans.
Yeah, and the ability to like self-repair itself really is going to take some new inventions. Otherwise, it's going to be like robot arms that have to like screw things in itself and then fix its own arm. Right. So I think just be a cheap person that's like, twist this bolt. Yeah. You just know how to fix it.
So I guess the final thing we'll talk about is just following up on some more Fat and Weird stuff. We talked about kind of what's happened. We'll talk about the future for Fat and Weird. We should be in the next couple weeks fully rolled out with DoorDash or with our bites.
Yep.
I think we have a meeting Thursday, so in a couple of days to have like the actual plan. But I know we haven't talked about bites a lot. We're going to make a big push on bites as soon as they're available. We didn't want to like tease it too early, but we're getting close talking about cookie dough bites. So I'm really excited to, do some long form content around that. And then obviously, short form content to share with you guys on social, but long form for YouTube, just kind of talking about it. It's been a long time. Yeah. I mean, it's been over a year of me like working towards this. And I think that that's one thing that I don't think people will truly appreciate in the entrepreneurial space when you're creating something that's never been created before. It's not launching a clothing brand where you're ordering blanks from China and you're just sticking your logo on it or whatever. Even on the motive side, when we were cutting, sewing clothes and we were designing, it was quicker than this. The amount of like R&D and technical stuff that has gone into this product has been immense, and I'm really excited about it.
Me too, man. I mean,
it's the greatest thing ever.
Brad's right. I mean, machining out parts and having stuff fabricated. I mean, just all the finagling that we had to do after getting the things to work the way we wanted. Our co-man partner, our just all the things that have kind of aligned with us. And then of course our customers, it's an exciting time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the bites truly are my favorite thing. I can't wait for you guys to get them. I think that even if you didn't like our cookies for some reason, I think that our bites will be something that you'll really enjoy if you like cookie dough, because it's amazing. But that's kind of it. That's all I got. You got anything else?
No. Yeah. Just get back to making some cookies.
Yeah, chipping away.
That's right.
So you're worth it. Do hard shit.